Yo, 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 what's going
What's the
on?
dealie, yo?
Hey, it is Motivational Mondays. You know how we do. We come in here every Monday, ready to get your week started like it's supposed to get started. This man over here to the other side of me is the great Talent Harris, aka Talent. If you don't, you're always great when you get one name and you can go by one name. That's when you know you're great. But this man here, comedy extraordinaire, his credits are too long for us to list. We'd be here for the whole
We
hour.
only got an hour show.
But we here like we always do every Monday to just give you some snippets and some nuggets, some things that you could take with you, share in your circles, motivate your people, motivate the people you love, the people around you. So we
Yes.
got one big motivational energy surge going on. How was the weekend, King? How you doing?
Listen, man. Listen, it might not have been as good as yours. I'm gonna see in a minute. I want to send a special shout out to who will probably watch our show later. Marlene. Chelsea. Our daughter's going back to college in
Ah,
a week or so. We got to go through that again. But more importantly, she's going back into the belly of the beast, back in Texas to fight, with this COVID thing, firsthand. So I always like to, recognize that first and foremost because some of us think it's over, some of us take it too lightly. So, like you say to the military, thank you for your service and safe travels out there. She watches the show every day. So I know that if I don't see her on here, she'll watch it later. So that's first and foremost. Now, my weekend was great, and it was great. I got motivated off a few things. Um, First of all, I was playing the comedy club. It's a brand new comedy club in Wilmington, Delaware. Shout out to my man Gundy who owns the club. Now, I got motivated off of Gundy's journey because Gundy was a promoter for. I think I've known Gundy 20 years. So he promoted everything from music, to art, to poetry, to a lot of comedy over the years. And he got to a position a couple of years ago where he got to buy it and own a black-owned comedy club.
nice.
And you hear about that. It's not the first time it's happened in the years of doing 30 years of comedy, but the place that he has and the location and everything, it's hard for us to find stuff like that. He lucked up. Amir, when I tell you, and I'm not talking about black or white owned, out of all the comedy clubs in America, clean and look wise, he's easily in the top 10 or top 5 of clubs. And this is brand new. This club ain't been open maybe a year. You know what I mean? So I was there doing Friday and Saturday night. Aldo was with me. Shout out to John Phillips, Malcolm Hill, and Buck Wild, 3 Philly comedians that came over, and Scooter, 4 comedians that
Okay.
came over from Philly and looked out, on the show as well. Some of them was hosting, some of them was doing opening spots. But it motivated me because it put me back in my mindset about when I first started getting that mindset about 15 years ago. I said, yo, T, you done made everybody spot a lot of money. Time you to own some shit. And that's when me and my business partner, Quincy, got on our mission, do our due diligence, and started finding spots and partnering up. And if we couldn't get a comedy club, or damn it, we're gonna open a takeout joint. We can't get a takeout, we're gonna open a restaurant. We can't get that, we're gonna open a lounge, and worked our way into having a couple of opportunities and owning comedy clubs. Matter of fact, we're in the middle of, doing another one of the 5th one now. So that put me back in that energy of way back then when I was like, let's see, how can we do this? And I'm looking at him and I'm looking at his operations, right? And customer service and everything. And that's where it stood out to me, because we open a lot of black businesses, but we don't put the ducks in the road the right way sometimes. So sometimes we'll open some stuff and we'll have the worst customer service or the worst business. I watched my cousin Ed Lover about a week ago get on his live just to trash a place. Just to say, yo, y'all got to do better, blah blah blah. What the hell is going on? You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it paid. So I was very proud of this brother to see that he had pretty much, especially the cosmetic stuff and the aesthetics that people get to see. Meaning, as soon as they walk through the door, the customer service, the menu, the bartending. When you sit down, the table service, the lighting, the sound, where the DJ was, where he had a separate room for us to chill, and a green room, and a merch room. Like it was just set up like he thought of almost everything. how the place was built. So that put me under, a good strain of that. It made it a great weekend. Then I talked to you and get surprised that you're on the train headed to DC for the weekend, right? So I'm
Yes,
like,
sir.
yeah, I'm going out here and going to talk to me lightly. I appreciate you downplaying it so I don't get jealous. I appreciate that because you hit me with the bullshit. Yeah, I'm just going to DC, man. Fuck with Lord Finesse this weekend. So I had to go, hold up, back up. Something going on.
Brother, let me tell you, our comrade Lord Finesse, whom, you know, in all fairness to you, I met during this pandemic, and this is why I really speak to energy and I speak to various things when we get on this motivational Monday, and why it's so important to just tune in and
Right.
put yourself in situations. But I met him through our connection over the pandemic. He does a live brunch every Saturday. It started out on IG, but he's recently moved it to Twitch. So for those of y'all who are gonna watch this, if you have a Twitch account, please, please, please do yourself a favor and
Mm-hmm.
tune into that man's brunch on Saturday. It's 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. If
I
you
got,
have
I got, I got to get me a Twitch account, man, because
you
that's fantastic.
everybody, yeah, everybody's moving over to the from the DJ standpoint, but I'll get
Yeah,
back to it and I'll explain that in a little bit. But here's what made the weekend so phenomenal. I hadn't ridden a train since my early days of going to North Carolina with my mom as a kid. Normally, when I made my trips to DC or Baltimore, or whatever, I usually jumped on the bus. And if you've ever done that here in New York City and you got on the Port Authority and you got to get on that bus line, that shit is like fighting at the EBT center with people just acting crazy. The train, however, oh my God, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So get on the
I
train.
told you the train is the best way to travel, man.
You know,
First of all, somebody just put in there. You got to shout out their grandson Messiah is going to Morehouse, class of
okay.
25. A
Ah,
shout out to Elizabeth. We see you, Elizabeth,
yes.
out there. Congratulations to your grandson
Congratulations.
Messiah.
Yes,
More
yes.
power
That's
to
what I'm
you.
talking. HBCU in the building. We love it. So
HBCU, baby.
I jump on the train. Like I said, I hadn't done it in some time. I was in uh the regular thing going down. I forget what the train classes are, but I was in the regular thing. First of all, the seating in the room was incredible. I didn't realize it was that dope. Like I said, otherwise I'd have been taking the train eons ago. But I get on the train, I ride down, and what I really appreciated about it is, I swear to God, it felt like I was on a New York subway because it was like 125th Street, next stop Philadelphia, next stop Delaware. I was like, God damn, I just got on this bitch. This is moving. So it
Yeah.
was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. Everything went smooth. Got down there, got in the cab to the hotel, got to my hotel room, shower, switched up, took a cab over to the spot that Lloyd was doing the first night, and that was like the meet and greet. And the beauty of it was all of us, none of us had ever met each other. So this was all, everybody was fresh and new to, meeting each other. We had people in from Canada, people from Virginia, we had people in from
Nice.
Philadelphia. So it was people from everywhere. But what made it so dope is just like the people who are part of the movement that you and I have had going on for a year or so, it's dope to meet the people and they be just as dope in person.
Now hold right there, because I don't want you to let the cat out the bag.
Okay.
Too much too
So,
soon. Hold that
so,
part right there. Remember, he said that we're
okay.
dope as the people. All right, we'll get back to that. So, real
So,
quick, let me
uh-huh.
say this. So, today, ladies and gentlemen, us motivate, we're going to tell you how we all know that our spirit is the most motivating part of us. Our emotions and our spirit. The physical follows that, right? The intellect, all that stuff follows that. So, we want to touch on, because he had a traveling weekend. I'm still in the midst of traveling. We want to touch on how that can become a part of motivating oneself. Now, you see my background. I dipped outside and set up outside for this background on purpose because I need y'all to see. I'm traveling. I'm in the vineyard. I'm in Martha's Vineyard right now. And men and women, I don't care what you think, men and women think different about investing in their tranquility and their travel. Now, my first guest we're going to bring in here will be with me and brother Amir, is going to come from the male side of the argument. And then we have another guest somewhere in the show that's going to come in and represent the female side of this argument. But bear with us. We're going somewhere with this. Let me bring in our first guest. My brother right here has been a part of this festival. Now, I'm out here on the 10th annual comedy festival here in Martha's Vineyard. And, you know, you got two brothers out here that's been holding this thing down. Like I said, it's the 10th annual. Shout out to Damon Williams, who's been hosting it. Shout out to my man, Steve. And shout out to this brother, Prophet Pete. Bring in my man, Frank. Big Frank is in the building. We want to bring in our first guest. What's up,
Yeah.
Frank?
Hey, what's happening?
How you
Everything is
doing,
good,
brother?
my brother. How you doing, first of all?
I'm wonderful, and thank you for having me on. I'm really excited.
Not a problem, man. I brought you on because I want to bring you in this conversation that from my experience in 30 years of traveling. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm traveling with somebody else's group. Sometimes I'm the producer putting it on, bringing a group. Sometimes I'm hired to be somewhere part of a group. Either way, what I've noticed to run synonymous in these situations is men and women, just like the opposite sex, what do you say, Mars and Venus?
In
I feel like
Venus, yeah.
that's what's at play when it comes to traveling. I think that, and not that I think that, I've seen it my whole life. Women will invest 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 to go away for 4 days, for 2 weeks. They'll go to Italy, they'll go to France, they'll go to Cabo, they'll go in a drop of a dime. They'll grab two or three girlfriends. And I've even seen women when two or three girlfriends don't want to go, fuck you, bitches. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like you can't get me for 2 weeks. Have you, in your experience, have you witnessed this?
Well, this is the thing. I've been traveling for years, and I can't say that it's because I just had this knowledge that I knew that traveling was so good. I've lucked up. I This is our 10th annual comedy festival in Martha's Vineyard. I'm a social worker. I was in social work conferences. I've traveled because of business related things. And so that's what sparked me to say, this traveling is good for my soul. It's good for my mental. I think we as guys, we get so caught up in the day to day, in work, and traveling just doesn't seem like the thing to do. But a lot of times we don't realize how it directly relates to our mental health, how getting away helps us to focus and get ourselves together so that when we come back to our day to day, we're more energized and rejuvenated. Unfortunately, as men, we don't connect like that a lot of times, and we don't decide that we're going to go as a group because it just doesn't, it's not the way we've been socialized.
Right.
Women are more socialized like this. So I do find that women travel a lot more. They get together, they go on retreats, they have therapy on these little retreats, then they come back, and then the guys, we sit at home like, well, you act like you different now. You know, they different because they are different. They done went, they got themselves together while you still at home doing the same stuff.
I didn't even know what a retreat was until a woman said it.
Right.
Like the only time I've heard retreat was like watching old army movies. Retreat, retreat. I was like, I'm not retreating. They was, you want to go on this retreat? Fuck out of here. I'm not retreating shit. You know, because I watched these old army movies. But you're absolutely right. You know, I didn't. That's a part that I didn't really think about it, and probably because my line of work is is part of people's entertainment. So you were like, yo, even on business trips, I realized, yo, my mental illness was intact and I was refreshed and all that. I didn't even look at that because when your job is to entertain people, you don't look at it traditionally like a traditional job, like say somebody that's corporate has to fly to Arizona for a meeting or to Chicago for a conference, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of stuff. And God forbid, like a company back in the day when companies gave a fuck about their workers, they actually sent you on a retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Those are the good old days. You know what I mean? But you supporting my argument about the difference in how a guy thinks. Like we were talking up here in the venue, and you said, so I was just telling you this, like where I was going with this today and everything. And you was like, yo, that's true. Because I said to a few guys, what did you say to a few
I
guys?
said to a few of my buddies, I said, look, man, come to the vineyard for the 10th annual, man. You know, let's get it together. I told them a year ago. And at first they were like, yeah, we think we're going to do that. But then after a while, they're like, man, it's too expensive. I don't know if I can make it. Man, I got to take care of the kids. Your kids are grown. What are you talking about? Man, I got stuff to do. I got to work. Man, come on, man. I ain't got the money. All these brothers are professional, making good money, master's degrees, everything. So if you ain't got $1,000 to invest in a nice little vacation somewhere.
Your sanity.
Your sanity,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's
Thank
the
you.
thing. Here's the thing, Amir. Hey, let me paint the picture for you up here.
Mhm.
So what people do, this island, when the summer, when the good weather hits, all the way through to like October, bro, it's in and out. People come from all over to come spend time on the vineyard. And here's the thing: it's a different level of tranquility. First of all, in states, because there's not a lot of conglomerates out here. You know, these franchises. There's a lot of mom and pop. Everything you need, mom and popped out, right? But you can come and find a house, couple of grand for a week, right? Dude, if you get your boys, two or three of your boys, and y'all spending six, seven, 800 apiece, you got a house that with limited possibilities for that week of vacation.
yep.
So
Yes.
it ain't that expensive at all.
Nope.
But that that you make a both of you make valid points, and that's part of the problem. We always see things as bills, and we see things as moments that are beyond what we really look at our lives like. And I'm finding that, to the points that you guys are making, that's the real issue. Because like you said, you got to invest in your serenity and in your peace of mind the same way you invest in cars, the same way you invest in phones, same way we invest in clothes. Your serenity is all a part of that same vanity. If you don't get your head right, you might lose the rest of that. So it
That's true.
behooves you to take these moments where you can go recharge your battery, get away from everything and everybody. Maybe if, like you said, if you don't get a home, you go sit up in a hotel room and do absolutely nothing. It's okay. You don't have to go outside. You can really just sit in a hotel room, watch movies, and vibe out, because you can go outside depending on where you go and just walk around and see something different from your everyday, because that hamster wheel gets to be too much at times. So then you got to take a break from it. So this way you could at least be like, okay, I'm back. I feel like me again. I'm ready. So like I said, both your points are absolutely valid. And with this particular discussion, I
Bro,
think we
one of the
have to
facts one of the
discussions.
facts is this: as a marketer and promoter, right? One of the things we used to always laugh in meetings and when we're having these powwows of how we're going to attack, marketing and things like that. And women was pretty much simple, man. Like realistically, and I'm not embellishing, I'm not bullshitting. All you had to do is pick a good destination. Half your job is done. When it came to women, you know, hey, we're going 5 days to Costa Rica. Oh shit! What can I pay? Where's the link? Where's the website? Blah blah blah. What I need to bring? That's women gonna ask you two things. Once they know where it is, if they exotic and they love it, where do I pay, and what's the itinerary? So I know I want to be prepared and blah 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 blah. Dudes do when we sit in those meetings and we're marketing. The meeting would be probably 10, 15 minutes long, but because we got to figure out how to get these Negroes out of their hoods and out of their comfort zones, like it's an hour and 2 hour meeting. We're like, what if we, and you remember the ski trips? The only reason we put the exotic dancers in,
To get the
Was
guys there.
yeah, that's it.
we
And
play it
and
off. We play it off and bring like some male strippers too to play it off to make it equal. But the real deal was we gotta get these guys out here.
Right.
we have to get out of our own way. Like I said, it is really amazing how differently we think on those, on that level. And it like I said, I'm always blown away because I've watched my friends, especially my male friends, spend all kinds of absorbent money on all kind of other stuff that is just that. Meaning, like, I went out, son. I got the latest stereo system, blah 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 blah. Bro, you don't even listen to your radio like that. I'm confused. Why?
And
Right.
not
why
only that, just by traveling, you expand your knowledge base, the different people that you meet. The people that we meet here on the vineyard on a daily basis come from all over the world. Some people
That's
have
true.
businesses. I met a guy who had a Thai business who comes here to the vineyard all the time. Millionaire. People come here, they retire. Some people are younger. It doesn't matter. You go on the Inkwell, you can walk around there and just say, "Hi, my name is this. What do you do?" And you'll meet so many people.
And he's not lying, bro. As soon as I got here, bro, and it's all walks of life, all ages, and people just want to be somewhere where they can let their hair like totally relax. And the hardest part is getting here, bro. Once you lay foot on this island, bro, everything else falls into place. Now, to support this argument, coming from the flip side, we must bring a female in. This young lady here, again, met her out and about traveling. She's a traveler. She don't play around. Matter of fact, she's a celebrity travel concierge, founder of Not Just a Getaway and the Refresher Experiences. Those are her two big things that she does annually. She takes people all around. She's a personal concierge to the stars as well. So I've seen her work with everybody from Candy and, she's out in the ATL. Actually, I'm going to see her at the end of the month because she's also the owner of Table 25 Fork and Wine Cafe and Restaurant out there in Atlanta. So please welcome to Motivation Monday show, my girl Takia Priest is in the building. Bring Takia in. I know she's in there. Thank you, T, for being with us. Wait for her picture. Right, you got your picture there, T. We see you in. Probably got cut. Can you hear her? Probably got to pop her back in. Let's see the connection. Okay, we'll bring her back in. But yeah, she's a pro at this, bro. And I met her. I forgot what island we was on or which getaway, but we get to talking, we get to networking, and she was like, this is what I do. Would you like to do X, Y, Z, or whatever the case may be? Welcome. How are you, darling?
Takia, how are you?
Hey, how are you guys?
Welcome. Thank you for joining in the conversation. To catch
No
you up,
problem.
we were talking about the difference because you're a travel specialist, and we're talking about the difference in the mental space of a man and a woman. Women are more prone to investing into travel, not because it's just travel, but the tranquil and the mindset.
And you're absolutely right. 95% of my clients are women.
Wow.
Even when, even it's funny though, because sometimes the men try. Like I have women text me and say, "Hey, my husband's trying to plan a trip. Can you help him?" And then they give him the freedom to call me or whatever, and then the women end up taking over. And I just had it happen like not too long ago. I guess he was trying to plan a surprise trip and she asked questions and it wasn't what she wanted. So he ended up just losing his place and she ended up taking over. But most of the time I have women contact me about the trip. They actually don't mind spending the money.
Right.
Um because women they already have a mindset like this is where I want to go. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. So they already have that mindset. Now men is a little different. I'm actually working with a guy now, and we did a mystery trip last year, and we're doing
Right.
another one this year. And it's funny because we do our trips differently. We both like to go to the same places, but I like to do luxury on a budget. He likes to do, we'll just pay the basic just to get there.
Right.
And it's like a totally
That's true
different
too.
trip.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different trip. So I wish we could get more of our men to value the trips like that, but it's true talent.
You know what's crazy is you said 95%. Now, when you sit down and because you do your annual things as well, do you sit down like I was just saying before we brought you in? I find that when I'm sitting with my team and we're putting together a trip, the minute we know where we're going, what we're going to do, we spend more time trying to get these tricks and gimmicks to sell to guys to get them on board. Back in the day, I told Amir, like people wonder why we had exotic dances on a ski trip is because that they say, oh, you gonna be some strippers there? Yeah, all right, give me your. And now we're talking about the minimum. We're talking about a ski trip. We're talking back in the day, $300, $350. So now when you're talking about actually going somewhere, now the ante's raised a little more. And I just think that guys, not think I know because I'm a damn guy and I was the same way. I just think that we don't, until we travel a few times, we don't know the value, the mental value. You know what I mean? The stress release, the sometimes being in the woods, you can't see, but it's all woods and wild turkey out here, right? You look, I stared at a turkey this morning for 10 minutes. I came up with 3 ideas. They had nothing to do with gobble gobble, but just staring at this turkey. I left there and said, oh, I went to my computer and I got some stuff done. But you get in a different headspace. And I think until guys do that, what got me there was when my kids were younger, their mom was like that. She was that, we got to take the kids everywhere. They got to see that and that. And she was a little, when she was a kid, she was a Disney head and all that. So she used to be like, make me put aside 3-4 days, the minimum, and every August, because we're going to do something with these kids, right? And I would go scratching and clawing, no bullshit. But when I get there, dog, and more importantly, when I left them and went to my next destination, I was the best dude in the world, B. My mental space was crazy. I was the funniest on stage. I'm creating, I'm doing. So I say all that to say, everybody's not a comic, but everybody has to do something in life that you have to protect your sanity. You have to protect your stress levels and basically just your mental balance. And I just happen to think, because Amir comes in today from DC trip through the weekend, and the first thing he's saying when we talked earlier in the afternoon was, yo, we got to talk about traveling. I just feel so different right now. The people I was around, and these were all people that he met. This wasn't a group he knew the people. They were from all over. He met them. Same as me here in the vineyard. I'm meeting extra new people. I know 1 or 2 people, but I'm meeting everybody else. Frank and I met, hit it off like that. I had to kick Frank ass out of his house last night at 2:30 in the morning because we clicked too much. You know me, I judged the clicking by the tequila bottle. I said, wait a minute, this shit is down. No, but do you understand what I'm saying? Do you
Yeah.
find that same struggle when you're planning?
Yes. Yes. The
Wow.
men, I have to do a lot more to entice them in. Like going back to a trip we did last year, the mystery trip, and bring that back up again because that one was the hardest one for men to accept. Women,
First of all, hold on. First of all, back up. Tell them what this mystery. This shit would be hard. I ain't gonna front. Tell
yeah.
them what this
So,
mystery. So explain.
so
It's
my
don't.
mystery trip, I actually we went on one right before the pandemic. We got back right when the shutdown happened. But they did not know where they were going at all
That's
until we
crazy.
got to the airport.
Wow.
So the trip wasn't a cheap trip. It was I think we paid about $2,500 per
Right.
person. They had to make payments. So they had to make payments. For women going on a mystery trip, you can't know. You're gonna get clues, you're gonna get a packing list. They throw out their money. They're fine. It's the men. But you gotta give me something. So who's gonna be there? We got girls there, strippers gonna be there. I'm like, dude, just go on a trip. Just go on a trip. But it's like you have to, I feel like I have to work harder to draw them in. If it's not, especially I do a lot of it's mediocre dollar trips. So it just takes a lot more for me to pull them in. They don't see the point of we're getting
Yeah.
away, we're gonna refresh. No. They want to know, well, what strippers we got? We going to a strip club? What we doing? What's the money for? So it does take a lot more. And then I do like talent mention. I do an event with women every year because I myself went through. You can hear my kids, and I apologize. I couldn't get them out
That's
the room.
okay.
But
I got turkeys. Who cares?
when I had my daughter, who's my second child, I actually went through a stage like mental health is real, and when I say travel is therapy for health, oh my God, I'm a
Telling you.
I'm a
I'm
I'm a
telling you.
witness. But I went right after I had her. I went through postpartum, but didn't really know that I was going through postpartum.
Mhm.
But I just couldn't get right. Like I felt like I was juggling between adjusting to her, adjusting to being married, adjusting to new house, work. I worked in healthcare, so it was real stressful, IT healthcare. And someone said, let's go. There's a winery here in Atlanta called Chateau Elan. So we went to Chateau Elan, and it's only an hour away from the city, but it felt like it was away.
Right.
So we went there for the weekend. I refreshed. I got back home. My husband was like, man, you like a whole nother person. Y'all need to go. You need to do this every month. So now he's telling me I go too much. But anyway, So now he's changing his mind about that. But it was therapy. It was like straight therapy for me, and it refreshes me. So I created a event where I take women, and it's not far. It's just out the city in the
Right.
country where they can refresh and regroup. And men actually are starting to dig it. The last one I had, Notori, we honored Notori Naughton at the event. So she
Okay.
came down, and she came down with her now fiance.
Yeah.
Um, and I can't speak his name, but she came down with him, and he saw the event, and he was like, "Man, we need this for men." And I
That's all I'm
said,
saying.
let's do it. Let's do it. And we started planning, but the shutdown happened. So we're going to get back to planning it. But it's therapy. You really got to get away. And I need for the men to understand, yes, we like to travel. We like my thing is I want to see the world. I don't want to say I've never been to a place that I wanted to go to. I'm going to get to those places. But I
Yeah.
need for men to actually understand too that it's therapy. It's a stress
I'm
reliever,
telling you.
and just seeing the different cultures and how people are living in other countries and make you appreciate what you have here a lot better too.
Yeah, and something you said that ring a loud bell with me was how you said it's not far, but it's just out the city. Like I used to do that a lot. Like I would go. I'm in Mount Vernon, which is Westchester County in New York,
I'm
but
jealous.
I can
But
cut
go
through
ahead.
Connecticut and go to Danbury, and it's 25, 35 minutes away. But just the fact that I'm out of my town and around my normal, and I'm over here secluded. I got the hot tubs, I got the restaurants, or just
Yep.
locking it in for 2 days, whatever. It recharges the battery. People must travel. I'm gonna ask each one of you this question: how old were you when you first started traveling on your own, Frank?
Well, when I first started traveling, I went to a boarding school in Wisconsin. I grew up in
Okay.
Chicago, so that was only 2 hours away. And then after high school, I went to college in New Orleans, State University of Louisiana, HBCU. Um, so I started early traveling for a couple of hours when I was, going to high school. But then right after that, I traveled to New Orleans and been traveling ever since.
Nice and early. Nice and
Yeah,
early.
nice and early.
Amir?
It was in my early teen, my late teens actually. I was dating a young lady who was in the service, and believe it or not, this is gonna really make you laugh. My mom, me, she was just fresh out of boot camp and everything, and she was stationed in Florida. And my mom sent me on a trip to Florida to go visit her and all that. So that was like
Your
very.
mother sent you to get that ass?
How old
Yo,
are
your
you?
mother's gangster, son. What's this? This is a ticket. Go get that. You get out of this house and you go get that ass. You're playing around here. You guys are privileged. Y'all got to travel real early. What was your age, kid?
Well, when I grew up traveling, my parent, I think that's why I love it so much. My parent,
Okay.
even when we were kids, we used to always go to DC, road tripping, Charleston, and then on my own. I went to Clemson University, so I was on my own at 17, and I was always on the go. So I would say 16,
Ah, that
17, I was
explains everything.
rolling.
I was wondering. I said, how did she get to be this bougie black with Clemson?
You know what? You ain't
No,
gonna
I
do
just
that. All right, Miss Alfreda, that wasn't funny.
well, listen, man. I thank you guys for coming and joining in this conversation because that's
Thank
what
you
this
for
Monday is all
inviting me.
about, man. This Monday is trying to get this part in people brain. Every Monday we poke in that brain and try to get people motivated, just in life in general. Because this time right now that we're going through right now, half of us are not bouncing back as smoothly and quickly as possible, and we need all the talking to and let people know they're not alone out there. And these little things is these little things that can help. So I think that the information between you guys, between Frank out here 10 years in a row and Martha's Vineyard with this comedy festival, bringing laughter to these people is stupendously amazing. You know what I mean? I think what you do,
Frank, we're
even
coming
for the
next
regular folks,
year.
the celebrities, amazing. What'd you say?
I am bringing a group next year. I didn't learn
Oh,
about it until the last minute, but I am definitely going to be there
so
next year.
look, I'm gonna link y'all.
Bring a
Oh,
group.
I'm gonna link
definitely.
y'all. You will. Let me tell you something. These guys, top class, what they do, how they do it. My man Dana Williams is out here, so you already know that's a party by itself. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have a good time. I thank you guys. To my guests, Takia,
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
thank you, thank
Jay.
you, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good Monday, man.
All
Good
right.
week.
Cheers.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks, Takia.
Take care.
Yo, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Like,
It's amazing.
the craziness is she said something as well that got me. She said, women look for luxury.
Uh-huh.
Guys, we the cheapest dudes on the planet. She didn't never lie when she said that. She said,
Yeah, but that's why I use the word invest. When
yeah,
you notice every time I say it, I say
yeah,
invest
no,
in
no.
because yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was really thinking about it because I know, normally, and you travel, obviously way more than I do. But my lady, her first thing always is, how many stars does the hotel have? I'd be like, hun, we just need a bed. Uh, uh-uh. Be 4 stars and better, and this and that third. I'd be like, all right, you make all the plans. Because if it's up to me, we're in a Motel 8. you know.
Dude, yo,
So, so I know that.
let me tell
Yeah,
you a
no.
funny story real quick before you go ahead. The funny shit, right? That you say that. So my ex girl, we're in what the hell we do? We did a cruise or something, right? So the cruise left out of New Orleans. So when we come back, you know, her flight, like I couldn't get on the flight that day, so I already knew that I had to stay that last night in New Orleans. I'm gonna stay by the airport and get up on the first thing smoking the next day and get to where I gotta go, right? So, but her flight was supposed to get out when the cruise gets back early in the morning. Get her to the airport. That was the first line of business. Get her to the airport, check in, boom, boom, and make sure she get through the gate, and then I'm gonna go find me a
Get
hotel. So, being the cheap ass dude, like he just nigga, I seen some shit for like it had to be like $40, right? But all I was concerned with, Amir, I knew it was gonna be some raggedy shit, but I'm gonna thug it out one day. All I was concerned with is the place has an airport shuttle. I'm good. So all I want. I just want to be able to get picked up and dropped off. No cost me not another dime. So I'm being cheap. I find this shit 2 star fucking shuttle call. They come get me. When that shuttle pulled up to this raggedy motherfucker, I was like, man, I said, T, don't front, nigga. You done been in worse. We from the hood, thug this shit out. You heard? So the room wasn't ready. So I'm sitting in the lobby for it's taking like goddamn hour and a half, right? So I'm in the lobby for 30 minutes. The phone ringing is her. She's supposed to be on the flight. I'm like, yo, what happened? What's up? She's like, you didn't believe this shit. They done canceled the flight, roll me over. I gotta leave first thing in the morning. So so my face is changing because I know what's next. Here it comes. All right, so where you at? I'm coming there. I was like, all right, all right, buddy. Come on, man. All right, I'll tell the shuttle dude. Shuttle scoops up, bring it over. But you already know the 18. I'm like, God damn it, she wants to see me and this cheap ass shit. I ain't gonna see her, but I'm doing it anyway. So one thing about her, yo, she was dumb quiet for the whole hour. Bobby waiting with the room clean. We had some coffee. We said that she's talking about regular shit like she don't notice how raggedy this shit is, right? So I start to calm down, like, you know what? Me, this ain't that bad. She ain't really beefing. As soon as they gave me the room key, nigga, we had to walk outside. It's really a motel, right? So we walk in, big ass bags, we pull it, and the bitch just say out of nowhere. So we in the Martin Luther King shit. This where they shot. My whole life was crushed, man.
oh, that is
Everything was
classic.
downhill after that. Got to the room, Rusty was there. It was just so bad. And it's one of them things that, like you said, how men think when it comes to spending a dollar, like, nigga, if I'm by myself, ain't nobody, I will, nigga.
Thug it out. We're gonna thug it out. But to the point that she made though about luxury. Like I said, I'm learning that we have to pamper ourselves too. Y'all, you make a super valid point with that. And we have to start, like I said, I always just think it's funny how we can pamper ourselves in certain areas and then totally remove it when it comes to our mental health. And to me, our mental health is way more valuable than a Gucci belt, some Balenciaga sneakers or whatever the hell, cats is wearing. Because I see all, look, where I work. I'm in 59th Street and Madison Avenue. So Balenciaga's there, Dior's there, Bapes, all this stuff. And I see dudes all the time. They coming in and out of these places. And like I said, they got, the new sneakers and this and that. And like you said, to come to a trip, it was 1,200. Nigga, you just spent that on a T-shirt. What you bitching and moaning? You can't be serious. You cheap ass. So I truly understand it. But I think that what we have to do, and what we need to do is have these kind of conversations. We have to start, as she said, having some manly retreats, because I think what it is too for the manly retreats, it also is just a chance for us to get away, talk shit, be around each other, laugh, crack jokes, all the stuff that, sometimes we've forgotten how to do or we don't do as much. Because
Right.
I think that there is some validity to spending time, obviously, with your significant other, but there's also some validity to spending time outside of your significant other so that this way you have some time for self. You have time to recharge your battery in a way that makes sense to you. I came back so motivated and so energized from this trip this weekend that I almost couldn't sleep last night. Literally, I was, and I got back like 3 something in the afternoon. So it wasn't like, I got back late or anything. I got back 3 in the afternoon. So I had time to acclimate myself to being back. But I was just so charged and so invested in how the trip went and how dope the people and everything was. And there was the hotel that they had the brunch in was a rooftop situation. To my understanding, there were certain rooms that had actual record players in the rooms.
Oh
So I was
wow.
like, how dope is that? You got a record player in your room where you could, play music, literally, like, put an album on or whatever. And they put albums into people's rooms, that,
That's
varying,
dope.
different things. And I was like, yo, you can't beat this. These are experiences that you should give yourself those opportunities, because once you have those experiences, it opens you up to not only wanting to see and experience more of it, but it's just the whole energy of it that lifts you like, wow, this is really dope. Like, who would think that something as simple as this could, make it that? The hotel I stayed in was 4 blocks away from where the brunch was. So really, I was in walking distance. But to the credit of Lord Finesse and his team, these dudes made sure I had rides to everywhere. So they was like, Amir, literally we around the corner. So when I saw how close it was, I said, guys, I could have walked this. They said, yeah, but we didn't want you to have to walk. We wanted you to, really get in the energy of, what we was doing and what we was putting together this weekend. And to Lord Finesse's credit, he said to me long before the weekend even started, he said, I'm trying to create a vibe. And he said, and, based off of the way you come into the lives and the way you kind of, give to the live, he said, I need that energy for this weekend and to bring to what it is we're trying to do here. And all I can tell y'all is, when you have the opportunity to go away, and maybe the person who is trying to pull you in, because sometimes that's a little difficult for us for varying reasons. Some of us aren't very good at people helping them. Some of us aren't very good at taking somebody who's saying to you, like, look, no, I got you. Don't worry about it. You good. It works out differently for some of us because we're not used to that. We unfortunately live in a world where either you're a person who's a tremendous giver and it seems like everybody's takers, or you just don't know how to allow somebody to do something nice for you because you're just not used to it. But this weekend showed me all facets and sides of it. I mean, even while we were out and about drinking, see, I haven't had that much alcohol in God knows how long, and I'm dead serious with this. Look, every spot that we went to, the drinking didn't stop, and it was everybody going to the bar. Yo, you all right? You need another? I'm like, bro, I didn't finish this one yet. I'm still working on this one. Give me a minute. I'm not sure I can get through this one. But the hits kept coming, and like I said, the people and the vibe just really lent itself to everything. And then, just like we do here on our thing, and I see Shauna Riley, I see Freda Jackson. I'm sure, some of our others are, in the room, maybe Drusilla and, so forth and so on, Renee. All of these people, we've sold into them. So to meet them and then, like I said, to see how dope they are after meeting them was like icing on the cake, man. And that's why I said, I have been very, very blessed in the last year and some change with what we've managed to do in terms of how we put all of this together. Um, what I was going to say earlier is our comrade, Lord Finesse. And like I said, you were missed because we did bring you up, and I did tell him exactly what you said about you're not speaking to him for 2.5 hours. He was crying off of that. Um, it behooves all of us to understand that, and I say this to you guys all the time. This is why it's important to comment. This is why it's important to like. This is why it's important to say flattering and becoming things, not because you have to or because you need to. The reality of it all is it creates a synergy, it creates an energy that once it starts rolling, you'd be surprised at what it turns into. Meeting Lord Finesse happened the same way as organically how I'm meeting all of you guys. Yes, he's from the Bronx just like I am. Some of y'all who really follow rap know that he's probably, if we were doing a wall of the rap, he'd be a brick in that wall, part of the foundation.
Right.
But he's just a super cool, down to earth cat that, just like Talent and just like so many other people. And what I found and what I really took away from the weekend was just that. But it came
People.
organically from the support. So when you see your friends online, whether they doing IG lives or doing Facebook lives or doing whatever, it's okay to comment. It's okay to go dope picture. If it's something that you don't like, then it's okay to not say something so that
Right.
you don't take away the energy for the people who do appreciate that. But we gotta understand that it's the appreciation, it's the showing love, it's the knowing that all you're doing is creating a synergy that eventually has to come back around to you. It it's a universal law. I know some of y'all may or may not see and believe and understand that, but it really is. It's a universal law. And once
Yeah.
you experience it, it'll blow you away because you'll be like, wait, how did I get here? How did this happen?
No, but you hit the nail on the head when you talk about the people. And we've spent this hour talking about why you should travel. We talked about how we travel. We talked about the residue after travel, the mental stability, the motivating factors, investing in one's tranquility. We talk about all that stuff. But the final component of all what we're talking about with this whole traveling thing is the people. Um, because I said to Amir earlier, I said, bro, you know what's crazy about traveling, bro? It's like I've been to many places several times. And depending on the people that I either went with or dealt with or met there, each said time gave me a different experience and feeling about the place. So things can happen in a place, and it's not so much the place, it's the people. I can go to, and I'm just randomly speaking, I go to Chicago 5 times. First time I go to Chicago, come back, Mir's like, hey, how was Chicago? It was all right. I mean, we got it done. The show was good. Boom, boom, boom. Then I could go 7 months later and come back like, ooh, that shit was crazy. You got to say this. You went to Chicago, right? Yeah. But last time was just all right. Oh, but this time was great. Okay. Well, what made this time crazier than the last time? And I guarantee you, when people go into it, they got stories like you. Oh, I met this person from Canada and we went to this spot and people was going to the bar. You good? And blah, blah, blah. That energy, and the word you used was right, organic. Nobody's it's different. I always say it's different when somebody do something because they have to do something. When I landed in Boston, getting out here yesterday, there's an hour and 45-minute ride in the car to get to catch the ferry over to the venue, right? So I'm in the car with this guy and we're talking, and he has the heavy Boston Irish accent. He lives in Cape Cod, the driver, and blah blah. We're talking. And he just getting to talking about, he said, well, I'll tell you what, when you get out there, you ever been? I was like, no. He's like, there's going to be a lot of nice people. They're going to be really nice, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, cool. That's cool. I started talking about how I feel about the South. And, people are nice. I said, there's a difference when you're around people or experience people who are not nice for any reason at all. Let me say that again. There's a big difference to encounter and be around people, very nice people, but they are nice for no specific reason at all. A lot of people in our lifetime are nice to us for reasons, aka ulterior motive. This is why I say humans, for the most part, a lot of times, they're incapable of unconditional love. The love lies and attaches to some sort of condition. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
when you are around people who are genuinely, organically nice, and they don't have a reason to, you're not getting nothing out of this extra, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. This is special. This is what may make that city or state or town or country or island special this go around. Because you were around some quality ass people who gave two fucks for no reason at all. Other than that, we're fellow human beings.
Yes. Yes. And you add to that the ability to allow yourself to be open to the moment. So often, yes, you should film, take pictures, do these varying things. But sometimes you got to put all that away and literally just live and be in the moment. I got off the train in DC and like I said, I never took the train. So I'm walking through the Union Station and I looked up and I took some pictures of that. And I was like, wow, this is dope. I got to the, when I was out on the rooftop, while I was standing up there before everybody came, I started taking pictures of stuff that I saw, while there was nobody officially at the event just yet. But you got to find those things that for you are not only motivating, but resonate with your soul. They make you smile. They make you feel good. Because whether you know this or believe this or not, when you share it with the world, and you will at some point, there's going to be a group of people who are excited about that just like you were. Oh, I know where that is. Dad, that's right down on such and such, such and such. Or,
Yeah.
yo, that's a dope shot. What I, what ma- I was just in the moment. I was thinking to myself, I like the way this looked. I thought this was interesting. I tell you something else, T, and this two, just to add to this. So Saturday night, the whole time I was there, I'm wearing button ups or whatever. So for the brunch, this young man came up to me. He probably is about your height, cock diesel. He had this really tough Muhammad Ali T-shirt. So he comes over to me and said, "Yo, OG, I'm sorry, man. If I had known, I would have put a button up on too. I know it's a brunch and this, that, and the third." I said, "Hey, look, no problem, young man." I said, "No problem, sir." I said, "If I had muscles like you, I would have wore a T-shirt too." I said, "But I don't." So this is why I got on a button up. This is the dad version of a T-shirt. So this way it could hide stuff. So he started laughing. True story, he started
Yo,
laughing. He
that's
said, "Yo,
hilarious.
classic." He said, "Yo, I absolutely love you for that." I said, "No, I'm just being." I said, "I'm being honest." So he thought about it for a second because Lord Finesse has affectionately dubbed me the communicator in our West Wing cabinet. So he said, "Wait a minute, aren't you the communicator?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, I was dying to meet you." He said, "Bruh, I tune in." He said, "Yo, you be dropping." He said, "Even when you typing in stuff in the chat, you got a lot of great things to say." So I said, "Well, look, man," I said, "all I could tell you is, one, I'm speaking from my heart, and two, man, I just like to see people having a good time and being in good spirits and in great energy." Now, the second part of that, so like I said, the last night he does this spot called Death Punch. So I took the Clippers jersey out there. I said, "You know what? I ain't really rocked the jersey since I've been out here, so I'm gonna throw the Clippers jersey on. We'll see what happens." I'm leaving the hotel. I go down into the lobby, and it was this Asian young man who was monitoring the lobby as I was leaving. Out of the blue, he goes, "Malik Sealy, that was my motherfucking man. St. John's, yes." I'm looking at the dude T because he was Asian. I was like, I know that's wrong, but I really was like, okay. So I let it go.
Like, let me get this straight. That's your motherfucking man.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay. So I let it go though. I go on, jump in the car. Lord and them all see the jersey. They're like, "Oh, okay, you breaking out the heavy guns." I said, "Nah." I said, "This the only night I finally came out casual." I said, "The whole time y'all been casual. I've been dressed up." So I said, "I figured it's the last night." So we get in the spot, everybody partying, they doing their thing. They had Lord up on the second level, like doing the DJing. So I said, "Let me go up there and get some footage of him, rocking out." So it happened to be some Asian gentlemen up there as well. So I noticed one of them kind of cock diesel. He's, I see him, kind of eyeing me, but I don't think much of it because I'm like, I'm in the zone. I'm nice. I'm drinking everything. So I sit down next to him and he goes, yo, bro. He said, man, I don't want to be out of line with this. He said, first of all, killer jersey. Malik Sealy, Talentine, St. John's, Minnesota. Like he named Malik's whole roster. Like I said, another Asian dude. I'm sitting there like, he said, look, them Big East battles, Georgetown against St. John's, I was there for all of that. See, I was dying. I said, wow. I said, this many years later, and to still have that effect. But it lends to what we're talking about impact, about not necessarily knowing and understanding that your impact is felt in ways that you can't even begin to imagine sometimes. And it comes from a lot of simple things that you may do. Thank yous, acknowledging people, seeing people for who they are, and really seeing them not just, a passe kind of thing. And I think that it lends exactly to what you were saying about energy and synergy, which we talk about a lot on our Motivational Mondays. Again, I can't stress enough how imperative it is, y'all, to just be the best version of yourself you can be, lend it to the situation, give blessings, give love, shine a light on them, and just
Yeah.
enjoy yourself. You look, you only get one shot at this daggone thing. Like I said, I don't mean that as any, downer kind of thing because of all the craziness that's going on in the world. All I'm saying is take these moments and make them count. Make them feel special. Make them be incredible. I sent a thing around to a few people today. I think I sent it to you as well, and it was
Yeah,
this
I got it.
really wonderful post. And it just in a nutshell said, you can create the life that you want, but you got to go after it, y'all. You can't just sit back and think that it's going to come to you. You got to put yourself in positions. You got to talk to people. You got to be open to ideas. You got to be open to the moment, the energy. And here's the thing. If you find that it's something that's not something that you like or something that you want, then you can make that left at Albuquerque and keep it pushing. I'm gonna give you this last one, and this is really funny. So, again, like I said, I'm meeting all these really dope people. So on the chat on our thing in Saturdays, there's somebody whose thing is hemp sauce unlimited. So every time in the chat, they always say salute King Amir, blah blah blah, or the communicator. So I never say anything because I wasn't sure if it's a guy or girl, and I don't want to say something out of line. So yo, T, this young lady, she pulls up on everybody. Yo, she got the brownies. She had this fruity pebble brownie joints, straight hemp, son. She like for everybody on the daggone team. Everybody gets a brownie. I was like this. Okay, you're gonna have us all messed up. Nobody gonna make it home. We're
Yo,
all
son.
gonna be finished. But that's what I'm saying. You just don't know, who you're gonna connect with and how dope some of these people are and some of the great things that they have going on. And that's why, again, to what Talon was saying earlier, if you get in spaces and places, have a conversation. I'm gonna tell you one more thing. So there was this one young lady, the whole entire trip, she was really quiet. She didn't, appear to be making a lot of noise, and everybody kind of kept on was like, you okay, this, that, the third. So I saw a friend request from her this morning. Come to find out, she's a DJ out of Chicago. But when I tell you, T, she was quiet the entire time, like literally just to herself. So when I finally spoke to her today, she said, Amir, that's because I was watching Lord Finesse and her, and I was taking notes. And I said, Queen, say no more. And that's what these kind of things do for you guys. It puts you in spaces where now you can take notes, take bits and pieces away from it, add your own touch, spin it whatever way you need to spin for yourself, but come back recharge, come back charged, recharge, come back in a space and in an energy that now has you on that fast track to do what you need to do, to grind it out, to find a new avenue that you may want to open or a new lane that you want to do for yourself because it's out here for you. This is
Well,
a big,
I totally understand that, bro. Because as I look at my own self as a comic, I was that quiet dude in the room. Whenever we were around, I mean, we'd be loud if it was us who came at the same time. But people who were bigger than us or whatever, you get in the room, we just quiet and watching. That was the first 15 years. Like you just quiet and watching and taking it in and blah blah blah. And then, as you become a veteran in the game, and now there's a new change of guards, and young people coming behind you, become that guy that they're watching. But that is the correct way to go about it. If you want to come up and know how to do it right, you got to watch those things that you think are being done right.
Yes.
And that's a
Yes.
fact, man. This has been a Motivation Monday. Amir, take us out.
Hey, it's Motivation Monday, guys. Look, I know that there's the variant coming and all this other stuff that they talking about. Who gives a damn? Get out, travel, see the world. If you can't get out and see the world because you may or may not want to do, some of the protocols that they ask you to do, there's a million beautiful things you can see here in the United States, guys. All you got to do is Google it, call your local travel agents,
Call
find
Tequila.
call Takia, call me. Look, we'll get you set up, get you rocking and rolling, get you in something. Because once you get out here and you start seeing some of these things, you start experiencing some of these things, you want more. And the more you want, the greater that hunger becomes, and the more that you want to share that with others. And that's what makes this whole experience beautiful. That man right there has, like you said, we've been a part of each other's lives 20
Yes, sir.
plus.
Yes, sir.
And we, like you said, look, we've done it all. We've traveled together, roomed, housed up, you name it, we did it. And each and every one of those events, we can look back on, smile, laugh about, and we know that those are moments that are priceless to not only us, but all the people who were there in those moments. So start creating those moments for yourself. Motivational Monday, that's what this is about. Us just dropping those jewels and those nuggets. As I tell y'all every Monday, and as I tell y'all all the time, it's nice to be important. It's much more important to be nice. So y'all go out there, do what you do. That man over there, talent. This is your man, Amir Sealy, A-Rock Sealy. Love you guys. Have a great, great evening and a dope rest of the week. And we'll see you
Peace
on
to you,
Friday.
King.
Peace to you, King.